everybody? This is Pam with 2200 Taps. Y'all, thank you guys for sticking with me and what this mission's all about. We just wrapped up season 1. We had some amazing guests talk about some real shit that a lot of people aren't ready to share. And just the courage and stuff that it took for them to come here and do that with hopes that, our listeners can hopefully identify and relate to. That's pretty brave. So thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are now fresh into season 2, and this season's going to be even more special. And my goal is to get more veterans in the hot seat. And today I am joined with one hell of a veteran that I'm starting to really get to know and really love. He comes to school here at MediaTech Institute, and I'm going to put a plug in for them. MediaTech really helps us get to do all this cool stuff and find our niche. And
no doubt.
Yeah, when we're in a funk, we get to come in the studio and get our junk out, and it's so cool, man. More about them later, but I want to introduce you my very first guest for season 2, Coach Rock.
How you doing?
Coach Rock, man, he got that voice like Barry White, man. So the reason I asked Coach Rock to be here, he was kind of sharing some stuff with me about his experience and his, a song that he wrote that literally had me in tears. And we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Right on.
But Coach, you mind introducing yourself to everybody?
How you doing, everybody? My name is Coach Rock, but before I get into that, congratulations. Season 2.
Oh, yeah, thank you, man.
Keep proceeding. 2200 Taps. I love it.
Appreciate it, man.
Where do we begin?
So, who are you? Who's Coach Rock?
That's really who Coach Rock is.
Yeah?
Yeah, the question mark, And I kind of like that aspect.
Yeah.
It allows me to be, not. I don't want to say in all places at the same time, but it allows me to be me in all situations.
Yeah.
So Coach Rock is more the person who can go anywhere and just absorb, the atmosphere. If that answers the question, but. For the most part, that's it. I started music right after, the transition that we're going to speak about in a minute, but I love it, the 2200 concept, because it allows people like us who just coming out, to really talk about who they are, and that's where Coach Rock comes from.
Yeah.
He came out of the transition period.
Mm. We all know that can be a really shitty period for some of us.
Shit.
So a little background about you. When did you, what branch were you in? When did you serve? When did you get out, kind of stuff?
I left at 19, went to the Marine Corps. I did 13 years in the Marines. I loved it. Boy, hoorah, Semper Fi, boy, I loved it.
I got a jarhead right next to me. Good thing you guys love us coasties, man. Otherwise, you'd be talking mad shit right now.
Have mercy. No, that's all love, baby.
That's awesome, man. 13 years.
Yeah, it was good, and the beauty in it was it captured all aspects, which, bled into the music. It captured all aspects because I left as a young man. Just adventuring into life. And then I came back, 13 years later, I was full adult, man, at that point. So I learned my entire, early, adulthood in a very structured, atmosphere, the Marines, So it had its ups, it had its ups and downs. So, and like I said, they captured all aspects, the good, the bad, going away, coming home, and everything that, is attached to both sides of those, And then don't forget, the doing process. So, it was very inspirational, once you learn how to channel it,
Channel what, your service, like how everything was?
Yeah,
or
because once you come out, it's like the switch doesn't just okay, back to hell no,
dude. Let me ask you this, because I feel like we can relate around that transition.
Oh yeah,
madness. I know for me, when I got out, I felt like I lost my identity. I felt like I didn't belong. It was very dark. on top of other things, which my story is in season 1, episode 3.
Oh, yeah.
But and you don't have to go into detail, like I said earlier, but what would you tell somebody, like, man, what was it like for you, and what kept you going in those moments?
That goes back to that Coach Rock question.
Okay.
It forces you to forge an identity.
Okay.
And out of that, and forge means you got to go through something to be, to come out different. Mm-hmm. So the identity concept, oh my God, that was the hardest part. I would take 13 years in the Marines at its worst point after 9/11 and compare it to the transition process. And hands down, the transition is by far the hardest thing.
That's deep, man.
You got to deal with, because, man, the longer you stay in, the harder it is when you come out. Mm-hmm. And it's rare that you find people that been in the same amount of time we have. Did over a decade.
Yeah. Now
you back out. You're like, oh shit. It's like a damn dog on the loose, right? Mm-hmm. So just getting adjusted to society, this way of doing things. That was my hardest part, because I had no identity.
Yeah.
You coming out as an adult, and the world ain't gonna wait for you, homie.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, get in where you fit in now, but remember, you don't fit in because you a thorn. You bred to be a thorn, the most beautiful thorn you can be. Mm-hmm. Given the military, structure. So everybody around you is thorns at that point. We all bred to be thorns, right? Mm-hmm. So when you come out in this velvet world, like, okay, you gonna poke a lot of people the wrong way.
That's a good way to put it. That is that is a good way. I had never heard that.
So I went through a whirlwind of adjustment.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I didn't say they quite tamed the beast, but
it was hard.
Oh God,
shit was hard.
It is.
And you're a family man.
Oh hell yeah.
You've got a wife.
Yeah. Wife and 3
kids.
Oh yeah.
And they were there, right when you were just kind of going through it.
That was all right. So my oldest daughter, only thing she know is the soldier.
Okay.
And me. And my son, only thing he know. Well, my son is almost twofold. He's seen the soldier transition and the identity crisis.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's 10.
Okay.
So he's seen more of the soldier, and luckily I was, I ain't gonna say luckily I was able to adjust quick, but he's seen more of the transition. And my youngest daughter, only thing she know is this side of me, which is I'm very thankful for. MediaTech has a big hand in that part. So it's more than just, coming here learning music. Only thing she knows is this side of me.
How old is she?
I'm so grateful for that. She's 3 now.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So she didn't.
She doesn't know the soldier.
Man, is that like as a daddy, is that a breath of fresh air to know that your little girl didn't have to see that shit?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. And this is the other aspect. The aspects we was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just going to war or going to combat or going to a deployment or going on a deployment. That's the main focus. The main focus is the preparation of saying goodbye for X amount of time. And a lot of times, you won't know when it's their last goodbye. So that weighs on you heavily once you hug your kids and saying, Daddy'll be back.
And you don't know it.
Yeah, that's a question mark behind that. So you can't walk with true confidence with a question mark over you. So just not having that weight when I tell her goodbye now is it's like coming out of the danger zone. Every time. Like
you're 100% certain you're gonna.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this time
you're coming home.
Yeah, I don't think ain't no 223s around me nowhere. So yeah, I'm pretty good on everything else.
Man, so you did 13 years.
Right on.
As a jarhead.
Hoorah.
We talked about you coming back, knowing that you'll be 100% certain that you're going to come back to your family.
Yeah.
Without the weight of the world on your shoulders, knowing that you're getting deployed. You don't know if you're coming back.
The weight of the country, yeah.
Right? So how now that you are out, What's that after that transition madness?
After the transition, it's pretty smooth after the transition because you start to, hopefully you done created your new identity by then, right? So then you start to discover literally a new world.
Yeah.
People that go in and do maybe, anywhere between 5 to 6 years, the world hasn't changed so much since you came out. But over a decade, and the way technology and the world and people is moving, so rapidly, when you come out, it's a huge adjustment phase. So once you learn that curve, when you come out, life is pretty good. You find the biggest thing I would tell people is to find your outlet, because you can't
a healthy outlet.
Yeah, it's not gonna go away. That's a part of life that has been created.
What's not gonna go away? That you being a soldier,
the soldier,
me being your coastie, just that.
Yeah. Anybody,
I got you.
And in uniform, I consider a soldier. So coming home, you can never get rid of that soldier. That's a part of life that you have experienced. So some people, have a lot of emotional attachments to theirs. You can't get rid of it. It'll never go away. You can't remember not being in X, X, Y, and Z. So it's a healthy outlet that you need to find. That's the biggest thing you need to look, seek after.
Now, with that, because we're about to get to some really fun stuff here in a minute, but I have a few more questions.
Hot. Now let's go.
In case y'all didn't know, we're having some technical difficulties, as they like to say in the radio world.
It's all good.
And what we like to say is that shit was just breaking on us. So that was our technical difficulty. But I know I made a lot of lifelong friends when I served.
Oh my God!
And I still have them around.
You better know it.
Some I don't, but when you see your battle buddies or your partner or whatever you want to call them struggling, now that you're on this side of it, and we'll get to what's helped you, what do you tell them? Or what is it when you see it in them? Is it like looking at a mirror like, fuck, I see me? Or, that's what I've seen. I'm like, whew, that's some dark shit right there, right? But how do you help them? Or have you experienced it, or what's that been like for you?
I think the biggest inspiration you can be to someone is an inspiration. Show them this is what happens if you keep going. If you stop right here, it'll never happen. You wipe that opportunity off the table forever. If you stop right here, that's the end of the story.
And stopping meaning what? And
the soldier in you shouldn't let that happen. But I understand the soldier in you pushes you to certain places as well.
That's what I mean. Stopping by what?
Right.
Like when they choose to end it, or when they choose to just go down
hurt themselves by any means.
Got it.
Because a lot of people hurt themselves because they want to feel the pain that other people felt. Some people hurt themselves because that's the best option right now. I promise you, if you keep going, you can be just like him, or it's gonna turn out just like her or them. That's why we as veterans got to be inspirations when we come out.
We got to help each other,
because that door doesn't close behind us. There's 1,000 troops coming home on a regular basis.
And I'm glad you said that, because I feel like it's a movement. I feel like, and this is me just talking freely at this point, and forgive me for people that don't like curse words, because I'm really trying to. I have a swear jar, man. I'm starting to get I'm trying to tame it down, because that's what I want. But man, I'm gonna bitch for a hot second about the VA. There are some good things about it, but the one thing that I've seen here lately, especially like on my end, is that they're like, we want to help end veteran suicide and all this shit, right? Which is great. But then they start telling you, when I was trying to file for PTSD, they're like, well, technically you can't because you didn't see combat. You didn't see combat. I'm like, define combat for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, define it for me. They're like, you shooting your weapon or you getting shot at. I'm like, that's not cool, dude. I'm like, other people's combats, like my enemy was Mother Nature, 20, 30 foot, 40 foot seas.
Yeah.
It's different. You can't just put people in a box. And I'm like, well, what do I got to do? He's like, fill out this stressor form. The thing is, you got to take it home and relive it. I'm like, bro, that's not fair. You want us to relive this shit just to, like... No, I mean, you're good. To fill out a form to prove that we got something going on with us?
You can't tell a 9-year-old female from Louisiana that she shouldn't be afraid of water. Because she's seen and survived Hurricane Katrina. Post-traumatic means after a traumatic experience happened. You have a permanent marker or a permanent dent in your brain that cannot go away that easily.
Right.
So, just as there's certain parts of the body that can't be operated on, the brain is at the top of that list. What shouldn't be operated on. That dent that's in your brain is not physically there, so you can't physically fix it. You see what I'm saying? So, she associates water with rushing tides, people dying.
Right.
At 9 years old. Now put that against your experience, that sounds minute. So, post-traumatic, that means after a trauma happens to a person. I think what you went through is pretty damn traumatic. So, and that can be washed away. So, you might want to go talk to that doctor and tell them.
Imagine giving that 9-year-old a form saying, you need to take this home and relive that shit. Just so we could prove that you went through it.
Say you've been through it.
And I'm just like, it blew my mind. And honestly kind of sent me in a little bit of a tailspin last week. Like, my depression started coming back. Even the thoughts of, like, suicide. But that's not on the table for me. Let me get that clear. That's 100% off the table. But it just naturally started coming back. I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
You know? So...
A lot of decisions are made by people who hasn't experienced it. Or won't experience it.
Or have, and they're just like, look, this is the law. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
But anyhow, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I needed to put that out there because that was my experience last week. And yet, the VA's like, we're here, we got to end veterans, we got to do this, you know, we got to help people and this. I'm like, dude, you want to help us? Start by fucking believing us. Yes. Maybe. And I understand there's a vetting process. I get there's a vetting process because there are people that want to milk the system.
Totally agree.
I understand, but let's put something different in place and don't, I mean, fuck, like, what do you do? So, again, going back to what you said, it's like we got to help each other out and start our movements. And, you know, that's why I'm doing this, you know, with 2200 Taps. And I know you're doing yours, you know, you coach your kids' football team, you're doing your music, and somebody needs to see that you are shining bright, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Big salute.
For sure.
That came from a lack of, you know, throughout that transition process, I seen a lack of, and that really, you know, kind of fueled the soldier in me too. You know, hop in, take care of business. So it was a lack of role models. It was a lack of good influences. It was a lack of resources.
When you were a little boy?
No.
Or in general for these kids?
And for the kids.
Oh, okay.
After I came out.
Okay.
And that lets me know that the mission wasn't over.
Got it.
So that kind of inspired the soldier instead of letting the soldier drive itself into, you know, a physical grave or a mental grave. So instead of letting the soldier take over, I used him to fight the fight that I seen when I came out, you know, the lack of. So for each department I seen a lack of, I went in, you know, as a soldier do head first, you know, and did my best. So, and it paid off.
That's awesome,
you know?
man.
So you can't get rid of it. Just learn how to use it.
How did, what would have been the payoff since you've done that?
Learn how to channel it. Shorter days, for one.
Yeah.
I peeled back on the trigger a little bit. So now I don't have as many flare-ups as I used to. So I sleep a lot, you know, a lot more.
Flare-ups like your pain?
No. Environmental flare-ups.
Got it.
You know, disagreement with that person.
Got it.
Yeah.
So,
It don't go as far as it used to no more.
That's good. You got a good handle on where you're at.
Yeah. Shout out to MediaTech.
So, well, I'll tell you what, that'd be a good segue. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Because I'm excited, just as you are. We are, and I'm going to do a quick little backstory for these guys.
Go ahead.
We are at MediaTech Institute in Dallas, and they used to be formerly known as the Dallas Sound Lab here in Irving, Texas. They had like musicians like Destiny's Child, Pantera, Steve Ray Vaughan. I'm getting goosebumps. Look at this shit. Kurt Franklin.
See,
all these huge names passed through when they were in Dallas just to record. And they've since, started all these programs so that, and programs like Recording Arts, what we're doing. They have the new acting program, which Tiffany Vollmer, the voice of Bulma from Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball, yeah.
She spearheaded that. She's going to be help teaching that. She's here. I mean, we've got...
I like her energy.
She's amazing, man. She's so funny, too. The Hollywood makeup program. I mean, digital, animation, film. If you want to be in the entertainment industry...
If you want to be a star, you got to start here. I promise you that.
This is where it's at. Because you know what? We're all commingling. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, if we need a music video, we need actors or film, we lean on those students and vice versa, and it helps us learn our craft.
Just the next generation of the music industry.
Oh, yeah. The do-it-yourself musician. I mean, shit, man. And there are amazing musicians that come here. And not just musicians, but people doing film. People that are going to be doing acting soon and so forth. So putting in a plug-in for them. If you want to check them out, go to MediaTechInstitute.edu. Locations here in Dallas and in Houston.
Shout out to the Houston campus, too.
Yeah, I feel like they're like the redheaded stepchildren, but we love you guys.
Yeah, we got to go down there and show some love.
But anyhow, so that's why we talk about MediaTech and, why we're able to do what we do here. But with that, I mean, you've said it a few times, MediaTech. So what has this institute given you? What able to give you?
The keys to freedom. And if you value your freedom, you'll know that's a big, big concept. So MediaTech is my keys to freedom, and that's why I will forever say MediaTech is highly recommended, especially if you an aspiring artist.
In your first semester, right?
First semester. I'm
Very
brand new.
first.
Rookie status.
And
yes.
Already.
Oh yeah. I'm not here to play.
But it's already helped change your life in one semester. I would even venture to say within the first few weeks.
Oh yeah, first few weeks I was hook, line, and sinker already. Because it allowed me to start walking in the direction that I know where my salvation lies. So and coming from not knowing what I was gonna do next, this whole identity thing, I've traveled a lot of paths. And that's how I got the name Coach. Because I've been there, I could probably say I've been there in this short amount of time. So MediaTech allowed me to get that piece that I was hiding, that one spot that I couldn't advocate for in public.
Which is what?
That thorn, that soldier, that was over a decade of my life that I had to kind of. Not close the books on so much, but come to terms with. And, you ain't going to do that in a year or two.
No.
Right? So,
no.
Just coining that whole moment was pivotal. And I learned a lot, and it can only come out one way, and that was through music. And it took me back to before the military. So, that was my peaceful moment. If you know me, shout out to everybody who do, in case I ain't speak. I always got this bop. I'm always bopping. So that's just the music. It's somewhere. It's a song in my head somewhere that's keeping me away from this physical moment. So, MediaTech. Now I get to come in and get that out daily. Learning different ways of getting it out, and it's been a beautiful process. I love it.
No, I heard a song that you created. And y'all, let me just tell you, I'm not hesitating to talk about it. I'm just trying to hold back tears here. Dude, the beat and everything that you were saying, like my eyes are getting watery. Like it just.
Yeah. I don't play that song that much because of that.
I don't think But dude, like, you know what it did for me?
To that song.
You know what it did for me? But just by you sharing that, I was like, God dang. Like, I got a handle of hope that I thought I've reached. I got, like, you helped me get more hope in my pocket than I could have ever asked for, just by sharing that one song.
That.
I'm serious, man, and I would challenge you to maybe get ready to release it at some point when you're ready, because there's some people that really need to hear that shit, and I didn't know I was one of them. So thank you for that.
I appreciate. I've heard that before. Somebody asked me why was I sitting on that song. I told them, it was special to me, and I wasn't ready yet.
It's a timing thing, probably.
But an interesting point that they brought up was a lot of people need that. Then I looked at it as being selfish. Like, yeah, a lot of people feel lonely. A lot of people, hear things that they can't let go. A lot of people see things that they can't let go. So, and they're treated like a victim for holding on to that, so.
Well, I mean, any musician will tell you, like, when you make music, that's like making a baby.
Oh, that song was
beautiful. And when you it's like you don't know what it's going to look like, but when it's here, it's going to be beautiful.
Shout out to Kurt McGirt, 808. That was one of the first people I met when I got out the military.
Yeah.
And he gave me that beat. He was like,
he gave you that beat?
He gave me that beat. No lie. I tried my best. Shout out to Kurt McGirt again, man. I tried my best to pay him for that beat. That is a generous man.
Thank you, Kurt, for blessing us with that beat, because that shit was...
I tried my best to pay him for that beat. I promise you that. And he finally gave in. And I can show you the pay. He
it's all documented? It's all documented?
Yes, it's all documented.
Then you're good.
He sold me that beat for $1.
What?
Yes, exclusive. No, no lease. He sold me that beat for $1.
Like just a handshake and like a date to Dairy Queen dollar?
No,
or was this
paperwork.
Like...
I gave him $1. And I signed the papers. He signed the papers, and we were done. And I created that song. But
dude,
that song was personal because that was he seen through the mask. Because during that time I was very active, but no one knew my past. No one knew where I just came from or what I was going through. I was walking with a cane at that time, and I had a lot of physical ailments going on, a lot of emotional, mental things going on. And for him to give me that beat, it was perfect timing, So now with that song, it's time for me to tell my story. And that story relates to a lot of people.
God damn, man. Yeah. I mean, even if you didn't want to tell your story, like, one-on-one, you just, like, listen to this song. And
that's the way I approach it. Thank you for saying that. That's how I approach it. Music lets me tell my story. Because I won't tell you. Anybody know me, I will not tell you my business personally. I will not. But if you listen to my music, you be like, oh.
Yeah.
That's why I talk about it. Other than that.
But you know what? You're still getting it out. And but it was on your time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was in a closed room.
Yes.
You and a mic, eyes closed, or whatever your setting is, and where you could really go there to get that shit out.
Yes.
And that's not selfish.
Yeah.
When
we recorded that song, my nephew, he actually a talented artist. Very talented artist. You'll be hearing about him soon. Shout out to Draco. But you'll be hearing about him soon. But I asked him, would he do it? And he actually told me no at first. And I was like, why, man? Like, this is my nephew, right? My sister's son. So he said, because I wouldn't feel comfortable. And he was like, because I know that's something that you really went through, and I don't want to sing on, I was like, listen, I'm sharing this with you because you are an artist. Now, me getting my expression out is how artists help artists, We went through that part. But I just told him, give me everything you got and I'll take care of the rest. So I thought it was going to be, a little timid on his end. But shit.
That was him on there?
Holy shit, yes. That's him, first take. I was listening to it and I thought we was recording. We was listening to the playback. And No, he was
all the way
actually in
through?
there hitting it just like, like the emotion he put behind it, I felt like he was in the trenches with me. I felt like he seen what I seen. And that's when I know I captured another true artist. Because he was able to see what I seen through words without even being there. And the way he captured that, the way he delivered it was perfect. Was absolutely perfect.
That whole song was amazing. Now, real quick, what was the title of the song again?
Voices in My Head.
And
yeah, Voices in My Head, Coach Rock.
and we don't have to get in depth with it, but it was about your time in the service, right?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it was a perfect blend, and the way I use it is, like a paintbrush. A true artist use different colors to paint a beautiful picture.
Right.
Right. So what I did, I took part of my past, part of the present, a lot of the past, part of the present. Not so much as the future, because that's always, up for grabs. But
right.
I took a lot of parts of me and put it all together. And that's how I came up with that. All facts, but most of it was military. A lot of it was prior to. A lot of it was during the military. And a few of it was after I came home from the military.
I remember hearing a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh, shit.
So, it was a lot of reminiscing going on. I just put the Chevy in reverse and just went down memory lane.
Man, how healing has it been for you to be able to lean on that song when you're having your moments, or has it?
Very, because I think about my boys all the time. I promise you, there's not one day that go by that I don't think about at least one of them. Mm-hmm. So, we can't really have that conversation no more. So that's how we converse through the song.
That's amazing.
We channel a lot of energy, that way. But
that's awesome,
man. It's very therapeutic. So
with that, because the whole mission of 2200 Taps is putting music to people's stories, and this podcast is to have people like yourself to come on and share your stories, with hopes that somebody can be like, damn, that's my stuff. That's my shit.
There's a lot of them out there, man.
There are, man, especially in I don't just say veteran community, but a lot of people that have gone through some really trauma and some shit, stuff that they didn't deserve as a kid, as a child, there's so much darkness in the world. Like, I feel like this is going to help shine a light through all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do what I do and put music to people's stories, because, man, someone needs to hear that. Someone needs to hear it.
Yeah. I felt selfish after, I looked at it from that aspect. Actually, it was my manager who told me I need to push that song. I was like, nah, I'm not ready. And then she was like, there's a lot of people out there need that right now. Yeah,
but it's here's the thing. You have kids, and this is the only way I can, make it seem somewhat understandable and how we as musicians resist to put our shit out there is these are our babies. And we're not ready to share our babies with the world until, when the world wants our kids, we're not going to give them our kids until we're ready to share them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the only way I can kind of make people see, and you don't have to be a parent, but a baby or a child. This shit was not easy to make.
Right.
When you put your heart and your soul in it, because that's a lot of vulnerability.
I felt like it was time. My recent decision to start, leaking it a little bit, let a few people hear it. I felt like it was time because my confidence. Yeah. That was the biggest thing. I come out the military trying to pursue, music career. You're going to kind of get the, sure you don't want to go back to work and look? You'll get that a lot.
I got that all the time. I got fired from my jobs. I couldn't do it.
Shit.
I could not
I
do
think
it.
I'm on 5 now. I took a personal break. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get this working thing a break for a minute.
Yeah.
So
let me work for me for a minute.
Yeah. It was not working out too well.
I hear you, man.
So, but finding this outlet, it was timeless. And not timeless. It was perfect timing. Because I don't think I was going to last too much longer without
something
having a quick release valve. enough pressure.
So I'm going to ask you one question, and I think we've already kind of figured it out, but I ask everybody this question. Has music helped save your life? And if so, how?
Yes. How is... there's so many answers to that. One, I would start with other stories. Every artist is inspired by other artists. So listen to other people's story. It lets me know that I'm not alone. That's for one. A lot of my favorite artists went through something. The good, the bad, and the ugly, they all went through something. So, that lets me know that it is a silver lining. But when it comes to me developing music or me, constructing music, that takes me to a whole different place. Oh, God, it takes me to a whole different... Shout out to Kurt McGirt again, because his beats allow me to just... Oh, God. It takes me on my adrenaline roller coaster. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. But his whole concept of music, well, the beats, the whole concept of how he go about it is what I like, and that's what I appreciate. So I know when I get a beat from him, there's some thought behind it, and there's a concept behind it. So, and that allows me to apply mine. So that's therapeutic to me. Hopefully it is for him, but I know it is for me. So
that's awesome. That's what we're talking about. Is you've heard that quote from? Do you know who Dave Grohl is from the Foo Fighters, the lead singer?
Negative.
Drummer for Nirvana.
Heard of him.
All right, that's Dave Grohl.
Right on.
He has a quote that I lean on, and I actually had it in my elevator pitch for Crystal's class, and that's the great thing about music is you could sing a song to 85,000 people, and they'll all sing it back to you for 85,000 different reasons. I
like that.
I lean on that because
I like that.
That pairs up with the 2200 Taps mission, because music ultimately helped me take suicide off the table. It was music on top of some additional training, but it was ultimately music. Somebody chose to share their story through music. You know what I'm saying? And
it's a story. And not none of the watered down shit the way you just rambling. It's a story. I would buy a book over a magazine any day. I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, and you don't even need lyrics. You could, I love, my guitar can make you cry. I can make it laugh. And you're like, how? You're like, just wait. You'll hear it.
Let the strings do their job.
Yeah, and vocalists, even, like Christina Aguilera, her voice, even though she gets a little crazy there. But, it's just powerful, man. It's so powerful.
Let me ask you this. I'm new to the whole music scene, right? And so, confidence, right? How did you build your confidence as an artist?
When I learned how to make my guitar talk. When I learned how to make my guitar express the feelings I had inside.
Okay.
Because it didn't have to sound right, and it was never wrong. It was what I was feeling. But with that, I signed up for the next showcase, which, by the way, the next showcase is in Deep Ellum, December 14th from 2 to 5 p.m. for MediaTech, and the students are going to be there.
Right.
Which means I got to get this podcast out before then. But I will. I'm performing. And I have not performed in front of a large crowd in years. A little nervous, but I mean, it's fine. When
you think of the word confidence, what artist do you think of?
Somebody who's confident?
Yes. Because that's the spirit you got to kind of, ask for in the moment.
Man, the first thing that comes to my mind when you ask me that is that when I hear about an artist being confident, this is just where my mind went. That it's not about being confident, it's about being vulnerable. When you're confident in your vulnerability, that's when you can just shine.
Yeah.
And I feel like because it isn't, let's be real here. Musicians are divas. You know, artists can be divas. So when I hear confidence, I hear cockiness. That's just my perception. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. But if confidence were in there, I feel like if you were confident in your vulnerability, you could touch so many souls.
Right.
When you're confident to know that you're not going to be judged by crying on stage or by sharing your story or by wearing a fucking dress made out of meat like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
It's just,
was...
yeah. Shout out to Sirloin Steak for that one.
I still don't understand that move.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like just when you are not afraid to be you, when you can take off that mask and just be you, whether it's good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
Dude, like this is me. And I think that's kind of where that's my definition of it. It's just that vulnerability, man. Yeah. It's not easy for a lot of people, you know, but when you can find it and you can use it, your music can just elevate to so much more.
I think that's where the confidence comes from. You know, what they say, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, other artists inspire you. So I would say on a confidence level, just hearing someone tell you, you know, I like that, you know, or that sounds good. To me, that don't do it. I'm sorry. Shout out to all my boys, too. I love y'all for that. But everybody tell me, okay, you know, it sound good. You know, you should be confident by now. No, it doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way.
Confidence comes from preparation. Mm-hmm. You know, so I wasn't fully prepared coming into music, you know, because, you know, for one, I was Marine before that, right? So music wasn't, you know, in the top of my to-do list. So just coming in and battling with that, the whole confidence level, because I see everybody around me good at what they do because they've been doing it for a while. So it kind of hindered me releasing a lot of stuff.
So you're afraid? You know? You're afraid to put it out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So, and I was like, man, is this just another story or is this my story? You know, so getting to that level took a lot of, you know, working on my confidence. You know, not just do I have the skills, you know, talent-wise, is can I deal with everything else around it? You know, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Performances, you know, just having people come up to you now, you know, you spend forever, you know, you spend years putting this wall up around you, and now as an artist, you have to, you know, pull that wall down and allow people to come close to you, get to know you.
Be vulnerable.
Exactly. Right? So the whole thing just ties in, so it took a lot of confidence for me to say, yes, I want to pursue music, you know.
That takes guts, because there's a lot of judgment around music.
Hell yeah.
There's like I said, there's a lot of artists that are divas. Not all, but there are some out there. And it makes it hard for artists like us who just want to get our shit out there.
Right.
But when you can
the game
learn
is very watered down right now.
Yeah.
Big fat.
But
big fat.
Big fat. But you know, it's just, you know, I'll give you one last thing, and then we'll just kind of keep going here.
What's up?
You ever heard of the Allman Brothers?
Negative.
They were a band back in the 70s. Ramblin' Man. Lord, I was born a rambling man.
Negative.
Okay, cool. I'll have to show you after this, because I'm not going to sing it on air.
Oh, no, you halfway there, dog. You might well finish, though.
Yeah, I might need to edit that.
Right on.
Well, one of the brothers, I met him in Chicago a few years back. And at this point, he had been an amazing guitar player. I mean, this dude is a legend in that community and been performing for years. And I was backstage with them. Don't ask me how I got to do that, but it was kind of cool. And I was sitting next to Dickie Betts. Dickie Betts wrote Ramblin' Man. And he was sitting on the couch, swaying back and forth, just like
Did
this.
you know that at the time?
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
on.
Well, because I got connected with their sound guy, and that's how I ended up backstage, actually. But he was kind of rocking back and forth on the couch, and I'm like, are you okay? He's like, no, you know, my wife's been sick. He's like, but I get really nervous before shows. And I'm like, dude, you're Dickie Betts. You're like a freaking legend. He's like, no, I get nervous. And that really helped me put that into perspective about the judgments and this and that, because you could be where we're at, or you could be of a caliber of Dickie Betts and Willie Nelson, but they're still people. And, you know, being able to still be a little scared to go on stage, that opened my eyes, you know?
I love being
cool.
scared now.
It was cool.
I really love being scared
Because you
now.
can feel shit.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's go. Do or die. Simplify. Run another mile, let's go. So, you know, it gets my adrenaline pumping, and I finna execute the mission.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that feeling now, like, oh, shit, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Saddle up, let's go.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, I can honestly say that I appreciate you being here. You know, what are your plans right now? I know you're with music business. That's such an amazing class, and I brag about it all the time. I brag about Crystal. I love her. I love her to death.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how she does what she does, but she's like, it's really cool to see her just do her little drawings and this and that. And
that's the definition of guru.
Oh my God. Like Crystal, that woman is. I want to put her in my pocket and take her home. I really do. So yeah, get with Crystal. If you're here at MediaTech, she will guide you in the right direction, hands down. But with music business, I know part of that is finding your brand and you know what you want to do. And I don't know about you, but like me looking in the future, I don't look in the future because I want to live in the moments.
All right.
So that was kind of weird for me to do that. But how's that working out for you? And what are you starting to find in you as Coach Rock?
It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Music business, that class is right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, I'm branding Coach Rock now. I'm actually going to brand it, and I want to be able to filter off into different avenues. You know, I still got my football team. I still got my boxing team. I'm coaching basketball, track, all of those aspects, music. It's a lot of things I want to do, so I'm putting under the Coach Rock Cares program.
And what's that about?
It's my nonprofit organization, and that allows me to help everybody that I want to help. It allows me to help this kid, this parent, that parent, you know, this brother, this sister. It allows me to give, and I know just, you know, $1,000 to me is totally different from $1,000 to a homeless person or a person in need, or, you know, a family with no heat, things like that. So, yeah. That's what my nonprofit is about.
So you already have a 501c3?
Oh, yes,
or are you
ma'am.
working on it? Really?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Well, so where can people
Businessman.
where can people find you, that nonprofit? What website, or put a plug in for you if you've got it up and running?
The Coach Rock Cares program. That's the well, actually, I'm in the process to figure out whether we're going with a program or foundation.
Okay.
Foundation.
So that's all part of it.
Right.
Got it.
Foundation, and that's the importance of Crystal's class. My foundation allows me to do other things that a simple program would not allow me to.
Right. Because got it. No, that's cool, man. And again, MediaTech's given us these opportunities to try to figure this shit out and kind of notch out our path on what we want to do. That's the coolest thing I could have ever. I never saw that one coming. You know, it's
if
really
you can
cool.
utilize your surroundings, you know, you're always in a good place. So with MediaTech, you know, I'm here to handle business. So me being able to utilize all the resources I got around me, that's why I say it was right up my alley. You know, you got the theater department right down here, you got the video, you got the music concept, and I plan on hitting each and every last one of those departments.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm be here for a minute, homie.
Yeah, me too.
Burning
We got a few
and
people. Yeah, some people, they graduate from recording arts, they roll into film.
Yep.
They graduate from film, they roll into this. And dude, they'll be at MediaTech for a few years.
If
like
you are
4 or 5
artist,
years.
if you are an artist in Dallas and you're not here, if you haven't stopped by, you haven't just Googled it, you have done yourself a huge disservice, homie. Because you are sleeping on $1 million investment. Well, I'm not gonna say investment,
dude.
$1 million dream.
I keep saying this is a golden nugget, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
like it.
We got Elton John's piano right behind us. We got Brian Wilson's soundboard we're recording this very podcast on. And all these platinum and gold records. Mm-hmm. And that's not to even mention the other departments and the stuff that they have here. You know? It's ridiculous.
Let me throw this in real quick. My oldest daughter, and this for the people who listening, who got kids, you know. So my oldest daughter, she's going to come up here and tour the campus with me Friday.
Nice.
Right? Because she's into, podcasts and things like that, such as every, teenager right now, right? So she's in podcasting, videography, actually. So as a parent, it does me a great justice in my heart to know that, I can bring her up here to help inspire her. Mm-hmm. Not just send my kids to, to this school and to that school, to where you can actually follow your dream and be happy in life, other than going to learn an occupation that you have no desire for. You can actually pursue your career here, I think that's a beautiful concept. I mean, that's a beautiful thought to have every day. And
you can give her that.
Oh yeah,
Can,
Uncle Sam gonna give it to her.
Uncle
Shout
Sam,
out to my fits.
Yeah. I know. I'm anxious because I don't have my kids yet, but I'm hoping for that day when I do. I can be like, you know what, your college is taken care of. You're good.
Better know it.
And I know, like now after experiencing this thing with MediaTech, I'm gonna be that parent. Like, you want to do what?
Yeah.
Go. Do it now.
Let me show you how to do it.
You want to do music? Go. You want to do interior design? Do it. You want to major in polka dots? I will love you forever. Do whatever you got to do, man.
Do you think the world appreciate artists?
What do you mean?
Do you think the world appreciate artists?
Artists as in musician or entertainment?
Artists.
Like painters?
Artists.
In general?
In general.
Finally got it.
Finally got it. Because think about, all right, let me draw you a picture real quick, right? You got the people who get up and go to work every day, right? Those are the working professionals. Mm-hmm. You got the people who get up and, let's say, lawn care service, right?
Yeah.
Those are the other side of the working professionals.
Those are my people.
Right. Oh, you call how you want. Shit, I cut grass too. But, but just using that from a physical labor to a non-physical, right? Mm-hmm. From those perspectives. But then you got people who have a source of, not duty, but when that person leaves their job and they want to go kick back and relax, would you go talk to a construction worker, or would you go talk to would you go see a comedian or see a live picture painting?
To like unwind?
Right.
People go to the bars, they have drinks, they go to... Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
So, it's the people who don't go to the regular 9 to 5 and sit and work on their concepts, whatever artistry it is, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the people that's highly lucrative, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, you're finding more revenue streams to get that mailbox money, and it's not even about that.
Yeah, because when you come back and kick back at the end of the day, you want to watch something or somebody, right? And it's normally a person who's a stand-up comedian, which is an artist in their own right, or a television show, actors, artists in their own right, or listen to music, an artist in its own right. You see what I'm saying? So it's the people who express themselves, is the people who, I won't say move the world, move the planet, right? Because you just sit in your own shit all day, you're probably going to stink after a while.
It's like we allow people to check out for a minute to just unwind.
Yeah, that's the
I think, well, to answer your question...
Stressed out about being an artist. You need us.
I think, to answer your question, I think on a subconscious level, yeah, they do. They appreciate artists. I feel like they do. But I feel like the ones that don't...
haven't learned expression yet.
They don't know how to relax, man.
Yeah.
They don't know how to kick off their shoes and let loose. But then
all
again...
artists is their therapist.
I mean, I don't know. But if you think about it, artists, no matter where you go, first thing in the morning when you wake up, I mean, a news journalist, that's entertainment. When they watch the news, when they listen to the, the radio in the car, artists are everywhere. Mm-hmm. Billboards. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're everywhere. soft, and you know what? Computers. Because that takes an art to build, to be a software engineer, to build shit like that on the computers, that is an art. And I feel like it's all over us, but...
Anything that you can do extraordinarily well is a form of artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
I think to some degree, I think people maybe they don't just... They're so close to it, they don't see it.
Forest beyond the trees concept.
Yeah, for the most part. But I feel like when you get immersed in this stuff like we are, when you can actually, I'm going to go back to my analogy, making a baby, right? It's you plant the seeds, you start collaborating with people, you know where it's going, but people are putting their own, sauce. Nagaris is like the sauce man here, right? They're going to put their little bit of spice or a little bit of ingredient, and before you know it...
Got the perfect drip.
Yeah. I mean, shit. When you can be fully immersed on the other side of it, like Jeff Dunham comes to mind for some reason. He does the puppets. Imagine how much time and effort it takes to build those little puppets, to practice your lines, to know this, to the whole ventriloquist world. Like, that just blows my mind. But for us, it's just a few hour show on a Saturday night. But the amount of time and effort he puts into it, we don't see that.
It's like doing a song. I was looking at I was crafting the song this morning.
I know we went anywhere with that, but that's...
I know, right? We're
just going.
We're just drifting.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like a song I was doing earlier this morning, actually. Right? So think about it. You don't know where it's going. You just know it catches your attention. And for me as an artist, it's the beat. Just the beat. And it catches my attention. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm starting to feel something. And then once that feeling sends me to an emotion, that's my target for this song, right? An emotion. So as an artist, that's what the painter wants. That's what the comedian wants. He wants you to laugh at the joke.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They want you to be, they want that one, artist, painter, want that one facial expression. He'll spend 10 hours to get one facial expression. If you don't get it, it's a piece of shit. But if you do get it, it's a work of art. Right? So it's artistry is real delicate.
Well, it takes practice. It's like being a professional baseball player or football player. I mean, you still got to practice at your craft.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt puts in how many hours off the field?
32.
Well, yeah, in addition to his 2 a day or whatever the hell he does. But he that dude is just magic. When he's healthy, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think that's with anybody. You got to put in
takes
the
on the
effort.
Super Bowl real quick.
What's that?
Any takes on the Super Bowl?
Dude.
I mean, we are still technically in November.
Can I be honest? I don't know. And I'm very, still kind of pissed off about this Cowboy game the other night.
I feel you.
And real quick, because we're about to wrap up here, but I need to talk about this.
I knew it.
I need to talk about this.
Bring it
All
to
right?
the table, girl. Let's go.
So I was a Cowboys fan
Right
when I was a little kid. Aikman, Irving, all that stuff, right? All those days. Converted to the Giants. Then I moved to Chicago, and I love the Giants, and the Bears really grew on me. I love the Chicago Bears. Now that I'm back in Dallas, you know what got me back to being a Dallas Cowboy fan?
Dun, 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 dun.
The fact that Dunkin' Donuts will give you free coffee the day after if
Wow.
they win. No shit, because I am a coffee junkie. So
you and my wife.
my
my wife.
God.
Boy, you know what? Y'all ain't no good at all.
What?
That's bad.
I don't care. My
That's
adrenal glands
bad.
are way shot, so I really don't care. But anyhow.
Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
in
Double
Dallas.
D's, man. I'm not sponsored yet, but I will happily, I love my Double D's. Take that as you will. Anyways.
And later on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Anyhow, so watching the game with the Pats, and it was actually a pretty nasty good game. I'm like, this is like...
That was a very good physical game.
I was like, this is like, they're missing field goals. The weather was shitty. Like, it was a perfect New England nasty day, right? And all of a sudden, these fucking tripping calls. I'm like, when did that take into effect? I mean, I did not know that was a thing, number one. Number two, tripping calls. And then it's like the New England refs finally started emerging, and it just started to look like a fixed game at the end. I'm like, what the hell, man?
For the record, I'm going to just say I can't confirm or deny anything. My wife is a diehard Patriots fan, so I'm just sit back and just smile and nod. So those you can't see me, I am smiling and nodding.
And he's wearing sunglasses too, y'all. He's had sunglasses on this whole time, and we're inside a studio.
I love it. I love it.
It's
you know
all
why?
good.
I look around a lot, and that's totally due to the military. So to all my veterans out there, if you coming home and you just like me and you just looking around for every little thing that moves, get you a pair of shades, man. Don't make us all look bad. Get you a pair of shades and just have at it, man. Don't worry about who looking at you or not. Just make sure they don't see you looking at every little thing. All right? So big salute. Thank you so much for having me, young lady.
Yeah.
I am so glad I got introduced to the 2200 Taps Foundation.
For sure.
So
for sure, man.
Consider me subscribed for life, homie.
I love it. I love it. And again, you guys can find me on 2200taps.com. That's 2200taps.com.
Can you break that down for all the rookies out there real quick, please?
www.2200 Tango Alpha Papa Sierra.
For y'all regular people, that's 10 o'clock.
.com.
And
also on SoundCloud. If you're enjoying these episodes, make sure to go to SoundCloud. I'm on 2200 Taps SoundCloud. Subscribe, that way you get notified, or follow, you get notified of these new episodes. And dude, let me tell you, our next few guests that we have lined up.
Oh yeah, come check it out.
I've got
I'll send you a lineup.
I've got some crazy dude. I've got some good people coming. I thought I was excited for season 1, but I'm even more excited for season 2.
Boom.
So
thank
you guys again. I appreciate you guys. We are signing off.
Big salute.